We are located on the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. Today is Monday, May 21st, 2018, and your radio hosts today are Beverly Simonette and Robert Dean. And we're reading the news from the Monday Fayetteville Obsever. Your weather. Today there will be a stray afternoon thunderstorm. The high will be 85. Tonight will be mostly cloudy and humid. The low will be 69. Tomorrow there will be an afternoon thunderstorm in spots. The high will be 82. The low 67. Wednesday there will be an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. The high will be 86 and a low 68. There will be clouds and sun, and a thunderstorm on Thursday. Will be humid with a high of 88 and a low of 65. Friday there will be a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon. The high will be 87 and a low 68. Saturday will be humid with times of clouds and sun. The high will be 87 and a low 70. Sunrise today was at 6:08 a.m. Sunset tonight will be at 8:17 p.m. First moon is today, full moon May 29th, last moon June 6th, and new moon June 13th. And actually we're reading from the Sunday Fayetteville Observer because we do not have the Monday Fayetteville Observer available yet. So today in history, this says today is Sunday, May 20th, the 140th day of 2018. There are 225 days left in the year. Today's highlight on May 20th, 1899, taxi driver Jacob German was pulled over and arrested by a police officer riding a bicycle for speeding down Manhattan's Lexington Avenue in his electric car at 12 miles an hour at a time when the speed limit was 8 miles per hour. It was the first recorded speeding arrest in U.S. history. In 1521, Ignatius of Loyola was wounded by a cannonball while defending Pamplona against the French. During this convalescence, he turned to religion, becoming a leader of the Counter-Reformation and the founder of the Jesuits. In 1873, Levi Strauss and Taylor Jacob Davis received a U.S. patent for men's work pants made with copper. In 1927, Charles Lindbergh took off from Roosevelt Field in Long Island, New York, aboard the Spirit of St. Louis on his historic solo flight to France. In 1932, Amelia Earhart took off from Newfoundland to become the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. Because of weather and equipment problems, Earhart was set down in Northern Ireland instead of her intended destination, France. In 1948, Chiang Kai-shek was inaugurated as the first president of the Republic of China, Taiwan. In 1959, nearly 5,000 Japanese Americans had their U.S. citizenships restored after choosing to renounce them during World War II. And birthdays today. Actor Arthur James McEaching is 88. Actor Anthony Zerr is 82. Actor David Probel is 76. Singer-actress Cher is 72. Actor-comedian Dave Thomas is 70. Rock musician Warren Cann is 68. Actor Dean Butler is 62. TV radio personality Ron Reagan is 60. Rock musician Jane Wheatland of the Go-Go's is 60. Actor Bronson Pinchot is 59. Singer Susan Cowsill is 59. Actor John Billingsley is 58. Actor Tony Goldwyn is 58. Singer Nick Hayward is 57. TV personality Ted Allen is 53. Actress Minnie Cohen is 52. Rock musician Tom Gorman of Belly is 52. Actress Gina Rivera is 52. Actor Timothy Oliphant is 50. Rapper Busta Rhymes is 46. Actress Daya Vaidya is 45. Rock musician Ryan Martini is 43. Actor Matt Krushy is 41. Actress Angela Goethals is 41. Actor-singer Aturai Naughton is 34. Country singer John Party is 33.
Daybreaks need to know. Whitewater kayak trip. A whitewater kayak trip is scheduled for June 2nd from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Kayak the Cape River between Lillington and Irwin. The trip depends on water conditions. Experience is preferred. Must be 14 or older with a participating adult. The cost is $35 per person. Register by May 31st at 433-1018. Repeating, the number to call is 433-1018. Free mosquito dunks. The Cumberland County Department of Public Health is giving free mosquito insecticide to Cumberland County residents. A 2-month supply can be picked up at Environmental Health on the 3rd floor of the Health Department, located at 1235 Ramsey Street, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. while supplies last. Tutors needed. Fayetteville Urban Ministries needs volunteer tutors for the Adult Literacy Center. Training sessions are once a month. The next training session is June 8th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pre-registration is required. Email Carol Ann Murray at cmurray@fayurbmin.org or call Fayetteville Urban Ministry at 483-5944. Once again, that number is 483-5944. Shaw University Scholarship Banquet. The 17th Annual Shaw University Scholarship Banquet is June 1st at 6:30 p.m. The banquet for the Fayetteville Cumberland County chapter will be at the Metropolitan Room, located at 109 Green Street. The guest speaker is Paulette Dillard, interim president of Shaw University. Tickets are $30. For more information, call Wilson Lacey at 988-1707. That number once again is 988-1707. Moore County Concert Band. The concert is scheduled for May 28th at 2 p.m. in the Grand Ballroom of the Carolina Hotel in Pinehurst. War and Peace features patriotic pieces honoring soldiers and veterans. The concert is free, but seating and parking are limited. Patrons should arrive early. We want to hear from you. Please submit your events in writing at least 10 days in advance. Email calendar at fayobserver.com or fax details to 486-3545. For questions, call 486-3500.
Livewire with the Observer staff. They're scheduled to be paroled in fall. The question comes from J.L. of Hope Mills. His former Panther Ray Caruth out of prison. Answer it clearly. Answers. Ray Thetis Caruth, also known as Ray Lamar Wiggins, is scheduled to be paroled in October, according to the North Carolina Department of Public Safety records. This signing is housed in the correctional facility in Sampson County. Caruth, now 44, was a standout receiver at the university and was a first-round draft pick by the Carolina Panthers in 1997, playing the wide receiver spot. However, his NFL career was derailed and he was convicted by a jury in 2001 of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, shooting into occupied property, using an instrument to destroy an unborn child. Jurors found him not guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to between 18 and 24 years in prison. In 1999, Caruth hired a man to kill Sharika Adams, 24, who was 7 months pregnant with Caruth's child, according to multiple media reports. Adams was shot multiple times but managed to call 911. She was taken to a hospital where she gave birth to her son and died 4 weeks later from complications caused by her injuries, according to a story in the Charlotte Observer. Her son, Chancellor Lee Adams, 18, was born with cerebral palsy and brain damage as a result of the shooting. Caruth had said earlier this year that he would seek custody of his son, who lives with his maternal grandmother. In March, he said he would not seek custody or pursue a relationship with his son, the Charlotte Observer said. Livewire seeks to answer questions of general interest and consumer topics. Initials are used to identify questioners when names are given. Contact Livewire by emailing livewire at fayobserver.com or by calling 486-3516.
Public safety. Cumberland County arrest. Antonio Bernard Nance, 19 of the 3000 block of Paddlefish Road, was charged Saturday with possession and receiving stolen property from a construction site and misdemeanor obtaining property by false pretense. Bail was set at $1,500. Mildred Newsom, 47 of the 1100 block of Marlborough Road, was charged Saturday with 2 counts of second-degree sexual offense and 1 count of misdemeanor sexual battery. Bail was set at $10,000. Antonio Bruce Morales, 20 of the 1500 block of Bland Street, was charged Friday with possession of stolen goods, selling or delivering a controlled substance Schedule 6, and maintaining a vehicle, dwelling, or place for a controlled substance Schedule 6. Bail was set at $5,500. Shooting. Mountain Home Drive. A resident reported at 2:43 a.m. Saturday that someone shot into his single-family home on the 9500 block of Mountain Home Drive. No one was reported injured.
And we now have the Monday Fayetteville Observer. From Monday's Fayetteville Observer, Today in History. Today is Monday, May 21st, the 141st day of 2018. There are 224 days left in the year. Today's highlight: on May 21st, 1927, Charles A. Lindbergh landed his Spirit of St. Louis monoplane near Paris, completing the first solo airplane flight across the Atlantic Ocean in 33.5 hours. 1542, Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto died while searching for gold along the Mississippi River. In 1881, Clara Barton founded the American Red Cross. In 1917, the Great Atlanta Fire broke out, burning 300 acres, destroying nearly 2,000 buildings, and displacing some 10,000 residents. In 1955, Chuck Berry recorded his first single, Maybelline, for Chess Records in Chicago. Birthdays today: rhythm and blues singer Ron Isley of the Isley Brothers is 77. Rock musician Hilton Valentine of the Animals is 75. Musician Bill Chaplin is 71. Singer Leo Sawyer is 70. Actress Carol Potter is 70. Actor Mr. T is 66. Music producer Stan Lynch is 63. Actor Judge Reinhold is 61. Actor-director Nick Cassavetes is 59. Actor Brent Briscoe is 57. Actress Lisa Edelstein is 52. Actress Firuza Balk is 44. Rock singer-musician Mikhail Jolette of Airborne Toxic Event is 44. Rapper Havoc of Mobb Deep is 44. Rock musician Tony Lagartho of Lucas Nelson and Promise of the Real is 35. Actor Sankrish Bela is 34. Actor David Ajala is 32. Actress Ashley Ruyalt is 31. Country singer Cody Johnson is 31. Actor Scott Leavenworth is 28. And actress Sarah Ramos is 27.
And today's Need to Know of Daybreak Rockefeller House Tour. Join Carvers Creek State Park staff for a tour of James Stillman Rockefeller's winter estate on May 26 at 6 p.m. Tour the estate and discuss the history of surrounding structures, some dating to the early 1800s. The tour is free, but registration is required. Stop by the park or call the park office at 438-4681. That number again is 436-4681. The park is at 2505 Long Valley Road in Spring Lake. Fayetteville's Memorial Day ceremony. The ceremony is scheduled for 10 a.m. May 28th at Freedom Memorial Park, located at 101 Bragg Boulevard. There will be bleacher seating for about 300 people. Parking will be available at the Airborne and Special Operations Museum or the Medical Arts Building. Special Operations Force's K-9 Memorial Day ceremony. The ceremony is scheduled for noon on May 28th at the K-9 Memorial at the Airborne and Special Operations Museum. The ceremony honors the Special Operations Forces K-9s and handlers who have given the ultimate sacrifice for their country. The event begins with a flag raising and wreath laying at the K-9 Memorial. The museum will be open to visitors for the holiday, with hours from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Appearance Commission Awards. The City-County Joint Appearance Commission is seeking nominations for this year's Appearance Awards program. Nominations must be submitted by June 1st. The program recognizes properties in Cumberland County that are improving the community's appearance. There are more than a dozen award categories. For more information or to nominate a property, go to FayetteVilleNC.gov/Appearance Commission. We want to hear from you. Please submit your events in writing at least 10 days in advance. Email calendar@FayetteObsever.com or fax details to 486-3545. For questions, call 486-3500.
Local and state, the Voice finale airs tonight by Roger Mullen, staff writer, Sanford. From 40 singers to 4, and Tuesday night it'll be just the Voice. In the Lee County town, hopes are resting with the native son, 18-year-old Britton Buchanan, as he vies for the season 14 title on the NBC Vocal Talent Show. Part 1 of the finale is today at 8 p.m. Part 2, with the winner being announced, is Tuesday. The show always gives the winner, in addition to the title The Voice, a national recording contract on one of the labels with Universal Music Group. Buchanan has the lone male voice in the finale. His challengers are Svenja Baker, Kyla Jade, and Bryn Cartelli. From thousands of hopefuls trying out, these 4 got through the show's blind auditions, battle and knockout rounds, and finally, the live playoffs. The singers were grouped into 4 teams, each coached by a celebrity singer, and is the sole survivor of Team Alicia, coached by Alicia Keys. Kalimber for the season 13 finale, including winner Chloe Kahansky. The 15-year-old Cartelli, the youngest finalist in the show's history, is coached by Clarkson. Cassidy Pope, Jordan Smith, and Danielle Bradbury are among the show's winners that have gone on to successful singles and albums. According to the Voice website, Britton was introduced to 1970s and 80s rock and folk music by his parents. He joined the band at age 13 and a year later won a songwriting contest that gave him the opportunity to record with John Davenport, whose credits include Robert Palmer and Bruce Springsteen. There will be a free watch party at Depot Park in Sanford today, starting at 6:30 p.m., 90 minutes prior to the show. Mayor Chet Mann, the Sanford City Council, and Downtown Sanford Incorporated are co-hosting Britain-themed t-shirts will be available for purchase. Singers Nakia Luttrell, Raven Escobar, and Joshua Conklin are scheduled to perform prior to the show. Food and beverages from Curbside Cravens, NC Wings and Things, Hugger Mugger Brewing Company, Karma Coffee, and Sanders Bakery will be available for purchase. Depot Park is at 106 Charlotte Avenue. Guests are asked to bring a lawn chair or blanket. In case of rain, the party will be held in the auditorium of Lee County High School on 1708 Nash Street, starting at 7 p.m. For more information, call area code 888-777-1133. Staff writer Roger Mullen can be reached by emailing rmullen@fayobserver.com or by calling 486-3561.
Relearning to walk after cancer. One night, Jen Andrews sat her kids down and told them, "My foot is really sick. The doctors are wanting to make me better. But when I come home and see you without my foot, just know that I'm still the same mommy, and I'm still going to love you just as much." A leg amputation is a hard concept to grasp for a 3- and 4-year-old, and even harder to swallow for the active mother of 2. On March 12th, Andrews, a West Forsyth graduate, had a below-the-knee amputation on her right leg to combat a rare type of cancer, a myeloid sarcoma that develops in deep soft tissue. Only 44 cases like hers have been reported in the world. Andrews received her first prosthetic recently and took her first steps in a month. I can't even put it into words. It was amazing. As soon as I saw myself standing on 2 feet, I started crying. Andrews, 33, said, "It was the best day I've had in a while." It all started with a pedicure in Clemens in 2013. A nail tech noticed a pea-sized nodule on Andrew's right foot, but because she was pregnant with her daughter at the time, Andrews initially dismissed it. "I thought it was probably a ganglion cyst. No big deal," she said. "When I was pregnant the second time, it changed into a golf ball-sized mass on top of my foot. Biopsies indicated the tumor was benign, but the mass was surgically removed in December 2014 because of the pain it was causing her. 10 days later, she walked into the doctor for a post-operation checkup with her then 17-month-old daughter and 3-month-old son and received the harrowing news. "They told me it was cancer," said Andrews, who now lives in Charlotte. "I was a new mom of 2 young kids. I just lost my job due to an organizational restructure. I was super healthy and took care of myself, and I had cancer. I couldn't believe it. The only way to be sure the cancer wouldn't return was to amputate her foot," doctors told her. But because doctors had gotten clean margins, they decided to watch her foot carefully with monthly and then annual scans. For a few years, nothing changed, but when she went for a scan in January, it revealed the cancer had come back more aggressive than ever. Instead of a mass, it had developed in more of a thin pancake shape covering the top of her foot. They would have had to take skin and tendons and pretty much strip me to the bone. There would be a 50-50 chance of reoccurrence, and it wasn't worth the gamble, Andrews said. "I wouldn't be able to run, walk properly, wear sandals, and I'd have a lot of chronic pain. It was like saving something that wasn't worth saving." While her case was brought up with doctors in Texas, New York, Tennessee, the Mayo Clinic, Vanderbilt University, and beyond, everyone had the same conclusion. Amputation was the only option and the best chance at a cancer-free life for the Andrews. It wasn't necessarily a hard decision to make versus a hard decision to accept, Andrews said. "My foot wasn't worth my life." In the days leading up to Andrew's surgery, she did all her favorite active things. An Orange Theory class, where she sprinted at 10.6 miles per hour, taking her 3 dogs on a walk, going on a run, dancing with her friends, and jumping at a trampoline park for hours with her kids and husband. It was her last hurrah after 8 weeks of anxiety, depression, and grappling with life without her right foot. It was hard. Andrew said of the waiting period, I'm a very outgoing, happy, glass half full, positive person. And I became this recluse, barely able to muster the energy to get off the couch to bolster her spirits. The week before her surgery, Andrews decided to do a live Facebook video for her friends and family, asking them to be active for her on the day of her surgery. Monday, my whole life changes forever. My request is for you to get out and move on Monday for me. For all the people who want to so bad and can't, Andrews tearfully said in the video. So whether that means going to a class you love, or whether that means going on a run in the rain, if it's crappy outside, I'm asking you all to get out and move because you can. Video quickly went viral and to date has been viewed 82,000 times. But she didn't quite realize the scope of her message until she woke up from her surgery, she said. Her phone was buzzing with an endless amount of social media notifications, with people all over the world, including Canada and New Zealand, posting photos of themselves exercising with the hashtag #MoveForJen. I was so touched that all the people I didn't know had rallied behind me, said Andrews, a health and wellness coach. I had the biggest smile on my face for 24 hours post-op. Andrews said she realized this had become bigger than herself, and a way to mobilize more research and awareness for a rare form of cancer. She was in the hospital for a couple of days before she was cleared to go home. Cancer-free. I had become a stronger version of the person I was before, Andrews said. A woman offered me a wheelchair as I was leaving. I smiled and said, no thank you. I walked myself into the hospital and I'm going to walk myself out. About a month post-operation, Andrews was fitted for her first prosthetic, or what her kids, Hannah and R3, called her superhero foot. It's a welcome change after a month of using a walker and crutches, but still takes some getting used to, especially when coupled with the occasional phantom pain of the missing limb. This experience with the rare cancer has opened my eyes to what's really important, Andrew said. Even the simple things of picking up your child, taking your dog on a walk, or going to the store to buy milk and eggs. You can't take anything for granted because insurance only covers a portion of one's prosthetic. Andrew's friends are raising money to offset the cost. As an active mother, Andrews would need multiple prosthetics for different functions, including one to wear in water and one to run with. Each prosthetic ranges from $5,000 to $50,000, she said. Andrew's goal is to walk unassisted by her birthday, May 12th, and run a 5K race by the end of the year, surrounded by family and friends. Cancer may have taken my foot, but it sure didn't take my zest for life, my sense of humor, or my love for people, Andrew said. So yes, cancer messed with the wrong girl.
This is the Southeastern North Carolina video reading service at United Way Partner Agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. We're a nonprofit agency. We rely on public donations. Request your support to continue our services. In making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina radio reading service in mind. Our address is P.O. Box 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at area code 910-672-1600. or toll free at 1-844-709-5656. Your radio hosts are
Beverlyn Simonet
and Robert Bean, and we are proud to serve you today. Inside Politics report. White House blocked report on industrial chemicals danger. The chemicals have been found in drinking water wells near the Chemours factory south of Fayetteville. By Steve Devane, staff writer. The Polish report says the White House and the Environmental Protection Agency tried to block publication of a federal health study that says 2 industrial chemicals, both found in wells near a Bladen County chemical factory, are more dangerous to human health than previously thought. The intervention early this year took place after a Trump administration aide said the new study would cause a public relations nightmare, says the report by the Politico news outlet in Washington. The report is based on newly disclosed emails that the Union of Concerned Scientists obtained with a Freedom of Information Act request. The Department of Health and Human Services Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry was preparing to publish its assessment of the PFOA and PFOS chemical compounds when it was blocked, Politico said. The 2 compounds have been found in wells around the Chemours plant, which is off NC 87 near the Bladen, Cumberland County line. PFOA, an acronym for fluorooctanoic acid, is known as C8 because it has 8 carbon atoms. PFOS, short for fluorooctane sulfonate, also has 8 carbon atoms. The EPA said in 2016 that exposure to chemicals at levels above 70 parts per trillion total could be dangerous. The health risks included cancer. Amounts below that level were thought to be safe. The new report from the Department of Health and Human Services says much smaller amounts, exposure at less than 1/6 of the EPA's prior count, could be dangerous for sensitive populations like infants and breastfeeding mothers, Politico said. The draft study remains unpublished. Politico reported the Department of Health and Human Services has not scheduled a date to release it for public comment. Meetings. Moore County Republican Men's Club meets at 11:30 a.m. today at the County Club of North Carolina on 1600 Morganton Road in Pinehurst. 2 guest speakers. Political consultant John Davis will discuss the Republican primary results and the upcoming general election. Laura Kuzma of the Clara McLean House will discuss her program, which provides free housing to people who have family members hospitalized at First Health Moore Regional Hospital. Cost of lunch is $20. Cumberland County Democrat Men's Club meets at 6 p.m. on Tuesday at K&W Carolina Kitchen and the Bordeaux Shopping Center on 1758 Owen Drive in Fayetteville. The guest speaker will be Rick Glazer, Executive Director of the North Carolina Justice Center, to discuss poverty in Cumberland County and the political season. Those who plan on eating are asked to arrive by 5:30 p.m. Young Democrats of Cumberland County will meet at 6 p.m. Tuesday at 997 Hay Street in Suite 203. Guest speakers will be Frank McNeil and Dan McCready, the Democratic nominees for the 8th and 9th Congressional Districts. Cumberland County Progressives meets at 2 p.m. Saturday at Samuel's Italian Restaurant on 2623 Rayford Road in Fayetteville. The guest speaker will be physician and former state Senate candidate Naveed Aziz. Paul Wolverton contributed to this report. Submit political news and announcements to Inside Politics at FAYobserver.com. The weekly deadline is Thursday for publication on the following Monday.
Authorities seize 120 gallons of meth. Contents of truck have street value of $90.8 million in crystal form. Lillington. 2 men were arrested Saturday in connection with an ongoing Harnett County Sheriff's Office investigation into a multi-million-dollar drug operation involving the transportation and trafficking of methamphetamine, a news release said. Roll Topi Ariella, 49, and from California, was the driver of a 2009 Peterbilt semi-truck where authorities discovered 120 gallons of liquid methamphetamine stored in the driver's side fuel tank. The sheriff's office said. The release said 120 gallons of liquid methamphetamine would be converted to approximately 454 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine. When converted, the kilograms of crystal methamphetamine would have a street value of $90.8 million. Aquilio Perez Pineda, 48, and from Georgia, also was taken into custody. Authorities seized the truck near the 100 block of Will Lucas Road in Linden. Ariella and Pineda were each charged with 3 counts of trafficking methamphetamine. The suspects have been placed in the Harnett County Detention Center with bail set at $3 million apiece. According to the sheriff's office, an immigration detainer has been issued for Pineda, who is Hispanic. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is looking into the immigration status of Ariola, who is also Hispanic. The Wake County Sheriff's Office and North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation helped in the probe that has been moving forward for several months. Staff writer Michael Fuchs can be reached at mfuch@fayettevilleobserver.com, 486-3529.
Tom Wolfe, Electrified Kool-Aid, an electrified fiction by Ron Charles, The Washington Post. No journalist ever moved to fiction with the panache of Tom Wolfe. Then no one ever moved to anything with quite the panache of Tom Wolfe. The white-suited writer who died Monday at the age of 88 transformed the field of nonfiction, but his 4 giant novels were equally impossible to ignore. Wolfe crashed into a literary scene that had grown timid, self-absorbed, and, yes, dull. Brilliant young writers, he claimed, were afraid to capture the dazzling variety and absurd clashes of real life. The wild trajectory of his own career was just a sort of unbelievable reality he craved. Having spent the first half of his life dethroning the novel with new journalism, he spent his final decades plotting to bring the novel back into power. Enough with the navel-gazing of contemporary fiction. If you want to write a novel, he told prospective writers, get out of your room and get out on the street. The first law of Wolfe fiction was that a great novel is predicated on great reporting, which not coincidentally was something Tom Wolfe was preeminently equipped to do. So he approached his novel about New York in the 1980s, just as he had approached his book about test pilots in the 1970s. He literally submerged himself in his material, writing the subways and the Bronx. One night he ran into a nervous broker who had started dressing in a shabby disguise to avoid the attention of thugs shaking down well-heeled passengers for cash. The Bonfire of Vanities was born. The book appeared in October of 1987, a week before the Dow dropped 22%. But as much as Wolfe seemed to anticipate our era's melodrama, he believed that the future of the novel lay in its Victorian past, especially the bear hug embrace of 19th century masters like Thackeray, Zola, and Dickens. Those writers understood the special power of fiction to contain a city's vastness, and Wolfe was convinced that their vision could be awakened again. At Harper's Magazine in 1989, he offered up his literary manifesto. To me, the idea of writing a novel about this astonishing metropolis, a big novel, cramming as much of New York City between covers as you could, was the most tempting, the most challenging, and the most obvious idea an American writer could possibly have. As if to drive that point home, Wolfe began to work on another novel, even bigger, even better, even more Dickensian in its scope and ambition. The Man and Fool appeared more than a decade later in 1998 and made a strong claim to be a great American novel. Set in Atlanta, A Man and Fool demonstrated Wolfe's boundless capacity to move up and down the class ladder, capturing the lives of the powerful and the dispossessed with equal confidence. It also contains the most audacious sex scene in American literature, albeit between 2 horses. The title may have nominally referred to Wolf's protagonist, an outlandish real estate developer, but A Man in Full was an equally apt description of Wolf himself, who could not be contained. Although he was a finalist for a National Book Award that year, he graciously declined to attend the prize ceremony because, he said, he had a previous engagement in Atlanta, one of those quiet, introspective novels. Alice McDermott's charming Billy beat out A Man in Full in a surprise upset, but as his publisher Robert Strauss growled at me the next day, Tom doesn't need that prize. In the end, though, Wolf demonstrated the limits of his own faith in reporting as the key to great fiction, and publishers kept throwing millions of dollars at him. For his next novel, I Am Charlotte Simmons, published in 2004, Wolf visited college campuses across the country and claimed to capture the sexual antics of American students. It won the Bad Sex and Fiction Award from the Literary Review. Though written in a fit of hyperventilation, this overwrought sexcapade offered only the wholly unsurprising revelations that college kids drink a lot and make bad romantic choices. Turns out that reporting isn't sufficient to create a fully realized female character. The Wolfian method seemed to be slipping into shoddy anthropology, complete with an embarrassing use of dialects that sounded like your grandpa straining to be hip. Those flaws were on full display in his final novel, a comedy called Back to Blood, published in 2012, for which his new publisher, Little Brown, paid a staggering $10,000 a page. Set in Miami, another city vast enough to attract his prodigious vision, Back to Blood reads like a parody of Wolf. The page is filled with ridiculous stereotypes and capital letter sound effects. It is not just or helpful to end on that blaring, discordant note. At his best, Wolf wrenched American novels back into action. He pumped adrenaline into the veins of our fiction. He reminded authors and publishers that readers crave great stories, tales commensurate to the crazy, unbounded chaos they're living through. Somewhere, surely right now, there is a young author encouraged by Wolf's advice, toiling away on the next great American novel about the Trump administration. Wolf, already clad in white, would look down and smile at that.
None of us can comprehend. Santa Fe mourns 10 people lost in school shooting. Congregations in this deeply religious community near Houston gathered Sunday for their first services since gunmen blasted his way into a high school and killed 10 people, with one pastor lamenting the grief that none of us can comprehend. The shooting after the deaths of 8 students and 2 substitute teachers. The pastor of Dayspring Church acknowledged the pain racking Santa Fe, a town of 13,000. They will never be forgotten in this community. These young people, children, just going to school, said Brad Drake, who then read the names of the dead, including a slain student who attended services at Dayspring. We have families today that are grieving a grief that none of us can comprehend. The family of the slain student, Angelique Ramirez, was not at the service. She was a member of the church's youth ministry, Drake said. She was a sweet young lady, had a style all of her own. He recalled she almost always had a new hairstyle. Kelly Ward, a licensed counselor who runs a ministry in Springville, Missouri, took the stage to urge congregants not to suppress emotions. How do we get through this? What do we do? Ward asked. The answer is to let everyone grieve, including yourselves. He said people can help mourning families or friends simply by listening, because dwelling in us is the Spirit of God. Church leaders wore green t-shirts with gold lettering, the colors of Santa Fe High School. Inside, an outline of the state of Texas. The letters spelled out a verse from 2 Corinthians 4th chapter, verses 8 through 9. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. In a nearby church kitchen, parishioners prepared plates of barbecue to be sold after the service, with all proceeds going to the victims' families. At Arcadia First Baptist Church, Texas Governor Greg Abbott hugged parishioners as they arrived. Among them was Monica Bracknell, an 18-year-old senior who survived the shooting. She stopped to tell the governor that the attack should not be turned into a political battle over gun control. Surrounded by television cameras, photographers, and reporters, she told Abbott guns were not to blame. People are making this into a political issue. She said, she told him, this is not a political issue. It's not a gun law issue. It was not the first time faith in Santa Fe has been tested with the whole country watching. In 2000, the city was at the center of a landmark U.S. Supreme Court decision that banned students from leading pre-game prayer over loudspeakers. The court ruled 6-3 that the school district policy of allowing student-led prayer at campus events violated the constitutionally required separation of church and state. Justice said giving students a public forum for prayer was effectively sponsoring the message. Also Sunday, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick called for a hardening of the nation's school buildings in the wake of Friday's attack. Patrick, a Republican, banned a culture of violence and said more needs to be done to keep shooters away from students, such as restricting school entrances and arming teachers. When you're facing someone who's an active shooter, the best way to take that shooter down is with a gun. But even better than that is 4 to 5 guns to 1, he told CNN's State of the Union. On ABC's The Week, Patrick said he supports background checks for gun purchasers, but stressed that gun regulation starts at home. Meanwhile, hundreds of members of Houston's Muslim community attended the first funeral, a service for Sabika Sheikh, a 17-year-old exchange student from Pakistan, who talked about one day becoming a diplomat. His host's mother, Jolene Cogburn, recalled asking Sheikh why she came to study in the U.S. She said she wanted to learn American culture and to share Pakistani culture with Americans. And I want us to come together and unite, she told Cogburn. I don't know if they know us the way they should. Continues to be a diplomat because even in her death, she is pulling the relationships between Pakistan and the United States. Specifically, the Houston area even closer. Her body was to be returned to Karachi. The suspect, Demetrios Pagorsis, also 17, has been jailed on capital murder charges. In their first statement since the massacre, the Pagorsis family said Saturday that the bloodshed seems incompatible with the boy we love. We are as shocked and confused as anyone else by these events, said the statement, which offered prayers and condolences to the victims. Relatives said They remain mostly in the dark about the specifics of the attack and share the public hunger for answers.
Businesses encouraged to attend local rally. Local businesses who may have shied away from providing goods or services to government organizations are encouraged to attend a building business rally on Tuesday. Officials from the largest agencies in Cumberland and Hope counties will be at the event, which is scheduled for 3 to 7 p.m. in the Horace Sisk Gym, the campus of Fayetteville Technical Community College. Fayetteville's Public Works Commission is hosting the rally. Other organizations participating include Cape Fear Valley Health, Cumberland County Schools, Hope County, the City of Fayetteville, Fayetteville State University, Fayetteville Technical Community College, Hope Mills, Spring Lake, and the State Department of Transportation. The organizations spend millions of dollars on goods and services, said PwC spokeswoman Carolyn Justice Henson. Some business might be hesitant to seek business with government organizations, she says. It sounds ominous, but it's not, she said. The rally is believed to be the first time all of the organizations have come together to talk to businesses about the services and products they need. Some organizations might not know about services and products that are available from local businesses, Justice Henson said. Obviously, this is where we would prefer to do business, she said, referring to local options. Justice Henson said PwC officials made a list of ways that the agency spends money. The list has about 100 goods and services, including pressure washing, building fences, catering, gravel, fire alarms, and employee assistance. It's for every business, she said. It's not just for people who are building stuff. Pre-registration is not required, but about 125 businesses have signed up to attend, Justice Henson said. I'm excited to see we have such a diverse group already pre-registered, she said. It's given them a chance to promote their business. Organizations that support businesses through financial and qualification assistance also will be at the rally. They include the Small Business Administration, the state's Procurement and Technical Assistance Center, the Small Business Technology Center administered by NC State University, the Veterans Business Outreach Center, and the Small Business Center from Fayetteville Tech, North Carolina, Military Business Center, the Capital Loan Program, and the Women's Business Center from the Center for Economic Empowerment and Development and the Greater Fayetteville Chamber. Business seminars are scheduled with topics that include how to fund your opportunity, certification readiness class, how to be a subcontractor, and learning about capability statements. Anyone who wants more information about the rally or wants to pre-register should go to the website faybids.com.
Public safety, Cumberland County arrests. Jabari Sanders, 25 of the 1000 block of Pine Knoll Drive in Spring Lake, was charged Saturday with possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance. Bail was set at $1,000. Bruce Leander Millsap, 47 of the 400 block of MacArthur Road, was charged Saturday possession of a controlled substance with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana from 1/2 to 1.5 ounces and possession of drug paraphernalia. Break-ins. Faison Avenue, 300 block, reported at 4:24 p.m. Saturday. A television was taken. Tart Circle, 700 block, reported 7:20 p.m. Saturday. Nothing reported taken.
Police. Man rams vehicle into restaurant, kills 2, injures several. The Associated Press, Bessemer City. A man intentionally rammed a vehicle into a North Carolina restaurant busy serving Sunday lunch, killing his daughter and another person and injuring several others, authorities said. Bessemer City Police said in a statement that preliminary evidence indicates Roger Self, 62, purposely smashed his way into the Surf and Turf Lodge, where reports say families were eating a relaxed midday meal. Footage from the scene showed emergency responders treating people on the ground outside the restaurant as shocked patrons milled about in the aftermath of the crash. Killed was 26-year-old Caitlin Tyler Self, the daughter of the driver and a Gaston County Sheriff's Office deputy. Authorities haven't released the name of the second person fatally injured. saying they were still notifying relatives. Police said Roger Self was arrested after the vehicle had fully slammed its way inside the steak and seafood restaurant in Bessemer City, about 30 miles or 50 kilometers west of Charlotte. Jail records show he's been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. The Gaston Gazette identified Roger Self as a businessman from Dallas, North Carolina. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police spokesman Rob Tofano called the crash a mass casualty incident, and reports said some of the victims were flown by helicopter to Carolina's medical center. There was no immediate count on the number of injured or the extent of the injuries. He drove his car into the building, killing people, so that's why we took him into custody immediately, Bessemer City Police Chief Thomas Ellis Jr. said. He gave no indication what might have prompted the crash. Photographs from the scene showed a shattered opening in the restaurant wall, but the car had smashed inside the building. The Gaston Gazette identified the vehicle as a sports utility vehicle. Caleb Martin, a 14-year-old who busses tables at the restaurant, told a broadcast outlet that he saw the vehicle suddenly smash through a wall into the restaurant. I walked over to my station and I heard a loud boom, he told WSOC-TV. It went straight through. He added, the one guy, I could help him back. He was pretty hurt. He said he was stunned but managed to help paramedics move tables off the person and debris out of the way so the injured could be treated. Caitlin Self was a 4-year veteran of the Gaston County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Alan Cloninger told the Charlotte Observer. The sheriff said the deputy had worked as a corporal in the jail and was off duty when she was fatally injured. Cloninger choked up as he spoke about the crash. Tragic loss of life, he told reporters. I am asking people just to keep the family in your prayers in the sheriff's office because we're suffering right now. The sheriff's office later tweeted a photograph of the deputy via social media, adding, our hearts are broken, and that the agency was asking for thoughts and prayers not only for the deputy's family and friends, but also for her brothers and sisters in uniform. A 2007 teen profile in the Gazette said Roger Self ran a private investigations business called Southeastern Loss Management. Said the business opened in 1989 and mostly helped companies investigate employees' wrongdoing. Authorities said the family was requesting privacy and referred any questions to the family's pastor. Messages left at the phone of the pastor by the Associated Press were not immediately returned.
Community Health Needs Survey available. Residents of the community Cumberland County can help the Department of Public Health gain a better understanding of the health needs and well-being of the community by completing a health opinion survey as part of the 2018 Community Health Needs Assessment. Cumberland County's Department of Public Health is collaborating with Cape Fear Valley Health System and other agencies and organizations to complete the assessment, which will help identify needs, concerns, and health problems based on community opinion. A community health needs assessment report and action plans will be developed based on the survey data and additional information pulled from state databases. Cumberland County residents can take a few minutes to complete the online survey by going to SurveyMonkey.com/r health ENC dot. A Spanish version is available at es.surveymonkey.com/r/salute STED Carolina DELNORTE. The survey link may also be accessed from the Health Department website at co.cumberland.nc.us/health. For questions about the survey, contact Stephen Nicholson at snicholson@co.cumberland.nc.us, or you can call them at 433-3893. Once again, that number is 433-3893. Or contact William Hackcock at whack@capefieldvalley.com or give him a call at 615-7667. Once again, that number is 615-7667. This is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our post office box number is 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at 910-672-1600 or our toll-free number 1-844-709-5656. Your radio hosts are
Robert Bean.
and Beverlyn Simonette. We are proud to serve you today.
It's the top of the hour, time for the obituaries. Death notices. The following deaths have been reported. Upcoming editions of the Fayetteville Obsever will contain complete obituary information. In Cumberland County, Richard D. Isley, 62 of Fayetteville, Heron Funeral Care and Cremations. George Stewart, 60 of Spring Lake, Heron Funeral Care and Cremations. George Frederick Jr., 75 of Fayetteville, Wiseman Mortuary. In the Cape Fear region, Cassetti Brower Johnson of Covington, Georgia, formerly of Jackson Springs, North Carolina, Simon Funeral Home, Southern Pines. Louis Edward Epps, 68 of Maxton, Richard Boyle's Funeral Service. Marion L. Daniels, 83 of Godwin, Skinner and Smith Funeral Home. Vivian A. Smith, 60 of Irwin, Dafford Funeral Home, Dunn. Christopher Parks, 43 of Rowland Hills. James Miller of Rowland, Boyle's Funeral Home, Rowland. In Cumberland County, Mr. Sammy Butler Holden, 71, passed away Saturday, May 19, 2018, at his home surrounded by his family. A celebration of life service will be held at 3 p.m. Wednesday, May 23, 2018, at Butler Funeral Home Chapel. Officiating will be Dr. Ernie Johnson. The family will receive friends from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Wednesday at the funeral home prior to the service. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be made in Sammy's honor to the Child Advocacy Center, P.O. Box 488, Fayetteville, North Carolina 28302, or to the Fayetteville Urban Ministry, 701 Whitfield Street, Fayetteville, North Carolina 28302. Services entrusted to Butler Funeral Home, 6535 Clinton Road, Stedman, North Carolina 28391. Mr. Harry Faison Shaw, 91 of Fayetteville, passed away on Friday, May 19, 2018. The family will receive friends Tuesday, May 22, 2018, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church in Eller Hall. The memorial service will be held at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, May 23, 2018 at the church, with Dr. Mike Garrett and the Reverend Donna Martin officiating. The family will receive friends following the service in Eller Hall. In lieu of flowers, donations may be made to the Cross Creek Linear Park Foundation. Services are entrusted to Rogers and Brees Funeral Home. James Franklin J. Maltsby II, 60 of Fayetteville, passed away on Saturday, May 19, 2018, at Highland House, Jay enjoyed building birdhouses, washing cars, and doing yard work. Graveside service will be held on Tuesday, May 22nd, 2018 at 11 a.m. at Lafayette Memorial Park on Ramsey Street. Arrangements made by Jernigan Warren Funeral Home. And that concludes today's obituaries.
Dear Abby, hard work in gym pays off with arm wrestling triumph. Dear Abby, I'm average, fitness-wise, and work in an office. My girlfriend, who is naturally athletic, has belonged to a gym for a year. Our two fitness paths collided when I was enjoying a coffee with her and her training partner, Trixie, at her place one day. Trixie made a muscle when I complimented her impressive arm definition. She responded, I should see my girlfriend's. When my girlfriend flexed, her bicep popped up so high my eyes bulged. Trixie then prodded me to flex. I didn't want to because I knew my muscle wasn't as developed. Trixie felt both our arms and declared mine softer. She then pushed us to arm wrestle. I'm 3 inches taller than my girlfriend, and I'm a man, so I thought I would win. Anyway, 2 times on the right and once on the left, I ended up with the back of my hand securely pinned down on the table to their extreme amusement. I felt embarrassed because there was nothing I could do to stop her stronger arms driving me down. The upshot is, I feel there has been a power shift in our relationship. My girlfriend will now teasingly flex when she wants something. She also enjoys challenging me in public. I have now been defeated in arm wrestling in front of her parents and a group of her cheering girlfriends. How should I adjust? Must I just accept her superior strength, tell her to tone down her showing off, or get myself stronger at the gym? Out-muscled in Australia. Dear Out-muscled, a wise person asks his or her physician before starting a diet and or exercise program. Then if you get the go-ahead, go to a gym and gradually begin a regular exercise program. While you're there, ask a trainer to help you get started with the weights and machines so you can learn proper form and build yourself up rather than tear yourself down. If you do, it will not only increase your strength but benefit you in other ways. And by the way, your girlfriend must be very immature or deliberately emasculate you in front of her friends and family. By all means, tell her to knock it off at your expense because it's demeaning. Dear Abby, I'm wondering how to deal with friends who want to take advantage of my big box store memberships. I don't mind helping out sometimes, but it seems like they are avoiding the cost of memberships while reaping the benefits of my time and expense. They either ask if I mind picking up a particular item for them or if I would take them so they can shop for themselves. That means spending half of a day while they scrutinize every aisle and every item. Some of these friends are well off financially, so it isn't that they can't afford the membership. Am I wrong to feel imposed upon? Indiana shop. You are only as imposed upon as you allow yourself to be. If it isn't convenient to take these people shopping, no law says you must. If you want to make sure a user never asks again, all you have to say is great, and afterwards you can take me out to lunch or dinner. Readers can write to Dear Abby at dearabby.com or P.O. Box 69440, Los Angeles, California 90069, Universal Click.
Billy Graham set a good example for your children with God's help from the writings of the Reverend Billy Graham. L.R. asked, I never got along very well with my parents, and I spent most of my teenage years as a rebel. Now I'm married with 2 children, and I realize I don't have any idea how to be a good father. Maybe you can help me. The answer, the most important thing I can tell you, is that God wants you to be a good father, and with His help you can be. After all, God gave your children to you, and He wants you to see them as both a gift and a responsibility. The Bible says children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. Psalm 127, verse 3. Children learn from us in 2 ways, by looking at our lives and by listening to our words. That's why the first step you need to take is to look at yourself. Honestly ask yourself what kind of example you're setting for them. You mentioned you've been rebellious much of your life. You still insist on going your own way no matter the consequences? Are you still alienated from your parents, who are also to learn from our words, including the lessons we try to teach them? Get a children's Bible storybook and read it to them and pray with them every night. Make the Bible your own source of wisdom also. Proverbs would be an excellent place for you to start. Tribune Content Agency.
Today's horoscope is still live. If today is your birthday, you learn a great deal from all that you do, and you apply those lessons to everyday life. You approach everything with a kind of optimism and confidence that is widely admired. Gemini, May 21st through June 20th. You can show off an unusual skill today, but that doesn't mean your success rate will be 100%. You must still get help on some tricky jobs. Cancer, June 21st through July 22nd. You'll have more work to do today after others put in their 2 cents. This collaborative work takes more time than solo efforts. Leo, July 23rd through August 22nd. What do you have that someone else wants, and vice versa? This situation can result in conflict if you take it too seriously. Virgo, August 23rd through September 22nd. You're looking around the corner at all that might be happening very soon, but you mustn't neglect the things that are happening right now. Libra, September 23rd through October 22nd. You must give yourself a time limit today so that you don't overindulge in something that could prevent you from getting your work done. Scorpio, October 23rd through November 22nd. Distractions abound, and for anyone else that might be a problem. You, however, know how to turn a distraction into a profitable endeavor. Sagittarius, November 22nd through December 21st. You're looking forward to something that allows you to explore your feelings with a little more freedom without incurring increased risk. Capricorn, December 22nd through January 19th. Just when you thought you had solved the tricky problem, the puzzle just gets more complicated. It's back to the drawing board. Aquarius, January 20th through February 18th. You're more than willing to help others, but you must be in good shape yourself to have a positive effect. Are you fully prepared? Pisces, February 19th through March 20th. Someone who knows you well has a few suggestions for you. You would be foolish not to listen. Some of them can serve you well. Aries, March 21st through April 19. Waiting until the last minute is only likely to cause you heartache today, as someone near to you is impatient and may fly the coop. Taurus, April 20th through May 20th. You know just how to get what you want today, and you know just who can give it to you. Your request must be as straightforward as possible.
In brief, Camden, Missouri, 3 killed in boat crash on lake. Operator arrested. Authorities allege a Kansas man was intoxicated when the boat he was operating struck a rock bluff on the Lake of the Ozarks in central Missouri, killing 3 friends. Hayden Frazier, 22, of Overland Park, was released from jail Sunday morning. He was arrested Saturday on 3 preliminary charges of boating while intoxicated involving a death of another person. It wasn't immediately clear when formal charges will be filed. The Missouri Highway Patrol on Sunday identified, says the 3 victims who were killed are 23-year-old Joseph Lamarck of Overland Park, 24-year-old Daniel Lewis of Overland Park, and 21-year-old Haley Hockenadell of Olathe. Butte, Louisiana, FAA helicopter carrying 3 people crashes in Louisiana. Authorities say a helicopter carrying 3 people has crashed in southern Louisiana. Federal Aviation Administration spokesman Tony Molinaro says the Hughes 369 helicopter crashed about 10 miles southwest of New Orleans on Sunday morning. The names of those aboard the helicopter have not been released. Molinaro says he doesn't know the extent of injuries. The St. Charles Parish Sheriff's Office says the helicopter went down in a wooded area near the community and the cause of the crash wasn't immediately known. Cincinnati. Review clears deputy who searched for trapped Ohio teen. The sheriff's deputy who unsuccessfully searched for a 16-year-old Ohio boy who died while being trapped in a minivan acted within departmental policies according to an internal investigation. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office report released on Friday includes Deputy Doug Allen's description of his actions during the April 10th search for Kyle Plush, and the deputy's regrets that he did not trust a gut feeling that something wasn't right. WKRC-TV reported. Even as a school official said no students were missing, Allen drove around because he felt that something was not right, the report said. Mexico City. 36 local candidates have been assassinated in Mexico. This election season has been the most violent in Mexico's recent history, with 36 candidates killed since September and dozens of other politicians and campaign officials slaughtered. That macabre statistic has created a fresh challenge for the country's political parties. They are now trying to fill dozens of candidacies left open by the assassinations. There are some positions that no one wants to contest right now, said Eduardo Guerrero, a security expert at Lantilla Consultores in Mexico City. It's something that we're seeing in several states and the county. Gaza City, Gaza Strip. Palestinian publicly sets himself on fire in Gaza. 28-year-old Palestinian is in critical condition Sunday after publicly setting himself on fire, but his motives remain unclear, with family believing he was despairing over Gaza's dire living conditions and Hamas, the Islamic militant group that rules the territory, alleging personal problems. Suicide is strictly forbidden in Islam, and cases are rare in conservative Gaza, but dozens were reported last year. Several cases of self-immolation have also been reported in Gaza over the past years. This was the first time, however, that one was filmed and posted online. These briefs come from the Associated Press.
A continuation of the John Stoll article, Cumberland Update. Tonight, the Board of Commissioners' regular meeting is at 6:45 p.m. in room 118 of the Cumberland County Courthouse. That's located at 117 Dick Street. Anyone wishing to speak during the public comment period should register prior to the start of the meeting. Tuesday, the budget presentation at 7 p.m. in room 118 at the Cumberland County Courthouse, located at 117 Dick Street. County Manager Amy Cannon will present the fiscal year 2019 recommended budget to the Board of Commissioners. Watch the meeting live on the county's website at co.cumberland.ncus. May 28th, Memorial Day. County offices and court system will be closed. John Souls is the Public Information Specialist for Cumberland County Government. You can reach him at 321-6579 or John J. Souls at co.cumberland.nc.us.
President Trump's dehumanization by E.J. Dionne. It's never right to call other human beings animals. It's not something we should even have to debate. No matter how debased the behavior of a given individual or group, no matter how much legitimate anger genuinely evil actions might inspire, dehumanizing others always leads us down a dangerous path. This is why we need to reflect on the controversy over exactly whom President Trump was referring to as animals during a roundtable discussion last week at the White House with state and local officials from California on so-called sanctuary laws. On its face, and this is certainly how Trump wants us to view things, this is an argument about whether the media distorted his intent by reporting what he said out of context. But Trump is responsible for this problem precisely because he systematically obliterates any distinctions between the overwhelming majority of immigrants who are law-abiding and the violent minority among the foreign-born. The slippery inexactness of Trump's language is often ascribed by his detractors to the deficiencies of his verbal skills, his lazy tendency to return again and again to the same stock words and phrases. Trump's admirers frequently cite his use of colloquial language as key to his success in persuading so many that he is not a traditional politician. After all, the way in which he uses the word animals is drawn from common street corner or barroom talk. It's not a usage he invented. But both of these innocent explanations underestimate Trump's gift of using incendiary words that send clear messages to his supporters. He is brutally calculating and finding ways of casting large groups of people as undeserving of dignity. Dehumanizing those he and his core constituents see as radically different is central to Trump's project. The White House event where Trump made the comment was a gathering last Wednesday, and California officials opposed to what Trump in his introductory remarks called deadly and unconstitutional sanctuary state laws. They offered, Trump said, safe harbor to some of the most vicious and violent offenders on earth, like MS-13 gang members, putting innocent men, women, and children at the mercy of these sadistic criminals. Trump's use of animals came in response to Margaret Mims, the sheriff of Fresno County, who spoke of the problems created for local law enforcement by the conflict between federal laws and California's sanctuary laws. Not being able to cooperate fully with federal immigration officials, Mims argued made efforts to find the bad guys far more difficult. In a follow-up, Mims elaborated that there could be an MS-13 gang member I know about, and that if they don't reach a certain threshold under the state's law, I cannot tell ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, about it. This is when Trump declared, "You wouldn't believe how bad these people are. These aren't people, these are animals. And we're taking them out of the country at a level and at a rate that's never happened before." By playing fast and loose with language, Trump avails himself of escape hatches, as he did last week, and can then go on to cast his critics as defenders of criminality. No one wants to be put in the position of seeming to say anything good about gang members, yet Trump's strategy of dehumanization must be resisted across the board. Washington Post columnist E.J. Dionne's email address is ejdionne@washpost.com. You can follow him on Twitter at EJDionne.
Leonard Pitts. For some, faith has little to do with Jesus. Today we will discuss one of the most pressing threats to American Christianity, meaning, of course, American Christians. Yes, that's an overly broad statement. All of those Christians whose faith requires them to live the good news, to feed the hungry, to house the homeless, speak to the voiceless, and welcome the stranger, surely do not threaten the faith. To the contrary, they empower it. They are what Christianity is supposed to be. But we're here to contend with what Christianity too often is. Having seen putative Christians excuse the liar, rationalize the alleged pedophile, justify the sexual assaulter, and cheer as walls are raised against the most vulnerable. It's obvious that many of those who claim that name embody a niggardly and cowardly, selfish and situational faith that has little to do with Jesus. Exhibit A. North Bend High School in rural southern Oregon, as detailed by the New York Times and CNN.com. 2 state reports completed in March and publicized just a few days ago paint the school as a torture chamber for LGBTQ students, which are taking kids pelted with food and homophobic slurs, and a teacher telling 2 girls it was disgusting for them to kiss. One girl said she was hit in the head with a skateboard by a student who punctuated the assault with anti-gay insults. When she complained to a school official, the woman was dismissive, telling her that her sexuality violated the official's religious beliefs. And when LGBTQ kids ran afoul of school officials, they were given a punishment designed specifically for them. They were forced to read the Bible. A hearing has been set for this week to resolve the issue. For the record, the school board disputes many of the charges. The superintendent told the Times the Bible was used as punishment only once. Ahem. Let us put aside the constitutional imbecility of forcing a child to read the Bible at all. Nor will we ponder what it says about how you see your faith when you regard its holy book as a punishment. Matthew Vine, a gay Christian and activist, does a good job of refuting the flogger quotes, places in the Bible, often interpreted as condemning homosexuality in the gay debate, the Bible and homosexuality, a video easily findable online, and in his book, God and the Gay Christian. So we have a need to go there. Instead, let's go to Matthew 25:40, where Jesus reminds his followers that whatever you do, you did unto the least of these, you have done it also unto me. It's a familiar admonition, often quoted, but seldom, it seems, taken seriously by many of us who call ourselves Christians. Yet if divinity identifies with the least of these, that means, does it not, that God is in the homeless man begging change at the off-ramp, slogging north across the unforgiving desert, and yes, the lesbian whacked by a skateboard? Unfortunately, faith has become, for many people, a license to do what is easy. Demonize the other rather than an obligation to do what is hard. Love your neighbor as yourself. Small wonder, millions of people tell pollsters they've given up on organized religion, not the search for spiritual meaning. You understand, but religion, in modeling bigotry, intimidation, and violence and calling it faith, these Christians in Oregon give them no reason to reconsider. Indeed, they slander what they claim to hold sacred. Christianity, after all, is the struggle to be like Christ, who famously welcomed the foreigner, the outsider, the outcast. But then he didn't go to school in Oregon. They don't tolerate that stuff at North Bend. Leonard Pitts is a columnist for the Miami Herald, 1 Herald Plaza, Miami, Florida, 33132. Readers may contact him via email at lpitts@miamiherald.com.
This is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our address is P.O. Box 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at area code 910-672-1600 or toll free at 1-844-709-5656. The radio hosts are
Beverly Simonette
and Robert Bean. We are proud to serve you today. Arrest records of Parks MLK to be preserved by J. Reeves, The Associated Press, Montgomery, Alabama. Yellowing court records from the arrest of Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., and others at the dawn of the modern civil rights era are being preserved and digitized after being discovered, folded, and wrapped in rubber bands in a courthouse box. Archivists at Historically Black Alabama State University are cataloging and flattening dozens of documents found at the Montgomery County Courthouse, and Circuit Clerk Tiffany McCord hopes electronic versions will be available for viewing as early as late June. Once the records are added to Alabama's online court system, historians and others will be able to read the original pleadings filed by Parks' attorneys following her refusal to give her seat to a white man on a Montgomery City bus on December 1st, 1955. Parks' arrest led to the Montgomery bus boycott, which launched a young King to prominence as a civil rights leader while the Atlanta-born pastor was working at his first church in downtown Montgomery. The records being preserved include a Bell document signed in black ink by King, who was arrested in March of 1956 with Parks and more than 100 others on charges of boycotting the city bus system in protest of Parks' treatment. "I think the public ought to be able to see that," said McCord. "It's exciting that it's happening." Alabama State Archivist Howard Robinson said the records are important because they provide texture and depth to the story of the early days of the movement. Rather than just containing the familiar names of Parks and King, Robinson said the records include the names of lesser-known people, like witnesses who saw Parks' arrest, bus boycott participants, attorneys, and those who put up bond to free people from jail. "These papers allow us to understand who those folks were," said Robinson. Parks was convicted of violating the city's segregation laws. A federal court deciding another case outlawed segregation on public buses while her case was being appealed. That same ruling effectively ended King's appeal after he was convicted with others of violating an anti-boycott law. McCord said she found documents from the cases, which include records from trial and appeals courts, after taking office in 2013. They were in an envelope box. They were all bent and folded with rubber bands on them, probably dating back to the 1950s. The bands were sort of disintegrating into them, she said. After looking at options, including feeding the papers through a scanner that sometimes jams, McCord said she decided to provide them on a 10-year loan for scanning and research by Alabama State, where flyers announcing the boycott were made more than 60 years ago. Some records and photos relating to Parks' arrest already are on display at Montgomery City Hall, and school officials sounded skeptical when first contacted about the box full of court records, McCord said. When they came over and saw what it was, their mouths dropped open, she said. Robinson said he hopes to locate some of the people mentioned in the documents. In order to understand the past and all the events that had occurred, particularly as part of the modern civil rights movement, we reduced the bus boycott to Rosa Parks refusing to relinquish her seat and Martin Luther King leading the bus boycott, he said. But these records sort of indicate that it was much more than that there were far more people involved, and that the city of Montgomery and the state of Alabama mounted a pitched battle to maintain segregation.
From the opinion section, Gen X bills are welcome. But timing looks very political. It's been nearly a year since we learned about the Gen X and other related chemicals that have contaminated the Cape Fear River and the water supplies that serve hundreds of thousands of people. Since then, we've gotten wave after wave of continuing and escalating bad news. The chemicals, part of the waste streamed from Kimmer's plant south of Fayetteville have contaminated far more than just the river. Hundreds of private wells have been polluted, as have several public wells. The contamination is airborne too. Tons of Gen X and related chemicals pumped into the air around the plant and then scattered by the winds onto the land and water. It's even in the rain. The chemicals cause serious health problems, including cancer in animals. It's reasonable to expect that they have the same effect on people. Underfunded and overburdened state regulators have struggled to keep up with the growing threat, and we still have no studies showing whether or not there are patterns of health problems in the population that's been exposed to the chemicals. In some cases, chemicals cause several harms. In some cases, until now, the state lawmakers have been unable to agree on the simplest strategies and increase the funding for state departments of environmental quality and health and human services. The two agencies with statutory responsibility to protect human health and environment. Unfortunately, both Democrat and Republican legislators have now filed bills in both the House and Senate that respond in some meaningful way to the crisis. Similar efforts during the brief January session of the General Assembly collapsed when Senate leaders refused to act. Fortunately, this is an election year, and some of our politicians are smart enough to recognize that Gen X could be politically toxic for them if they don't act, or at least appear to. Republican-backed bills, the one more likely to be enacted given the party's veto-proof grip on both legislative chambers, are a considerable improvement, requiring chemists to provide an alternate permanent water supply for homes served by contaminated private wells, and providing $2 million in grant funding to help county governments extend public water mains to affected households. They also would fund a mass spectrometer for analyzing pollution samples and money to hire additional DEQ staff for water monitoring and to address the agency's permitted backlog. It adds $8 million for university research on Gen X and other emerging contaminants. It also would empower the government to order Kimmers to shut down if it doesn't stop further unauthorized discharges. Environmental groups are suspicious of its provisions and call it a political ruse. The legislation also says Southern Environmental Law Center State Director Derb imposes multiple requirements on the governor before he can order a facility that is potentially poisoning people to cease all polluting operations. This is pointless, given the governor's existing authority, and appears intended to protect a polluter. Kimmer's timing, of course, says a lot, and the timing of Republican measure is telling. It comes only a week after Kimmer's announced that it can reduce all the emissions in question by 70% before the end of this year, and that the company will invest more than $100 million in emissions control equipment that will bring pollution levels to near zero by 2020. That makes it easier for lawmakers to look tough while not needing to take any real action against the company. Responding nearly a year late after a solution already appears to be in hand smacks of politics, not protection. We certainly welcome Kimmer's move to stop pollution, just as we have welcomed the efforts of state regulators and environmental groups that have moved the chemical company to take action. We also welcome these latest state actions to deal with existing pollution. But what we don't see in the legislation is any inkling that our lawmakers have abandoned their anti-regulatory position, nor any sign that they want to go after other dangerous hazards in our water that also threaten our health, like the 1,4-dioxane that is in Fayetteville public water system and those of many other cities as well. That's disappointing, but it's no surprise.
Trump demands Department of Justice review spying claim. President wants probe into whether FBI infiltrated campaign for political reasons. By Darlene Superville, The Associated Press, Washington. President Donald Trump said Sunday that he will demand this week that the Justice Department open an investigation into whether the FBI infiltrated his presidential campaign for political purposes, whether any demands or requests for such action originated with the Obama administration. Trump tweeted, "I hereby demand, and will do so officially tomorrow, that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI, Department of Justice, infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes, and if any such demands or requests were made by people within the Obama administration." The Justice Department declined to comment. Trump has been promoting a theory circulating in conservative circles about a possible FBI spy on the campaign, though his attorney has cast doubt on it. Rudy Giuliani, who represents Trump in the ongoing special counsel's investigation into Russia meddling in the 2016 presidential election, said in a television interview last week that neither he nor Trump knows for certain that there was a spy on the campaign. Giuliani said they had been told of some kind of infiltration. In any event, the Justice Department's internal watchdog is already examining Republican complaints of FBI misconduct in the early stages of the Russia investigation. Inspector General Michael E. Horowitz announced an investigation in March at the request of Attorney General Jeff Sessions and congressional Republicans. Sessions and the lawmakers had urged Horowitz to review whether FBI and Justice Department officials abused their surveillance powers by using information compiled by Christopher Steele, a former British spy, and paid for by Democrats as part of the basis to justify monitoring Carter Page, a former campaign advisor to Trump. Horowitz said his office will look at those claims, as well as communications between Steele and the Department of Justice and FBI officials. Trump did not elaborate on the promised demand, which he included in one of a series of tweets he sent throughout the day Sunday. On Saturday, Trump tweeted, "If the FBI or Department of Justice was infiltrating a campaign for the benefit of another campaign, that is a really big deal." He said only the release or review of documents the House Intelligence Committee is seeking from the Justice Department can give conclusive answers. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Representative Adam Schiff of California, the senior Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, called Trump's claim of an embedded spy nonsense. His demand Department of Justice investigate something they know to be untrue is an abuse of power in an effort to distract from his growing legal problems, Schiff said on Twitter. Never mind that the Department of Justice has warned that lives and alliances are at risk. He doesn't care. The GOP-led House Intelligence Committee closed its Russian meddling probe last month, saying it found no evidence of collusion or coordination between Trump's campaign and Russia, which special counsel Robert Mueller is looking into. Schiff and other committee Democrats were furious and argued that Republicans had not subpoenaed many witnesses they considered essential to the committee's work. Trump last week accused the Justice Department of trying to frame him by planting a spy in his 2016 campaign. Trump quoted Fox Business anchor David Asman and tweeted Friday, "Apparently the Department of Justice put a spy in the Trump campaign. This has never been done before. By any means necessary, they are out to frame Donald Trump for crimes he didn't commit. When asked whether there was an informant on the campaign, Giuliani told CNN, "I don't know for sure, nor does the president, if there really was one." Though he said they have long been told there was some kind of infiltration. Earlier this month, the National Review raised the question of a possible FBI spy in Trump's campaign. The article cites work by Republican Representative Devin Nunes of California, an ardent Trump supporter and chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, who has demanded information on an FBI source in the Russia investigation. Opponents of Nunes' request have stressed the need to protect intelligence sources and methods.
Fourth suspect in the Blackshire murder apprehended. Anonymous tip leads to Thomas' arrest. A woman wanted in the January 7, 2017 murder of Calvin Blackshear Jr. at a Fayetteville motel was arrested Saturday in South Carolina after the Fayetteville and Cumberland County Crime Stoppers program received an anonymous tip earlier in the day, according to authorities. Iona Deja Shamika Thomas, 19 of the 1000 block of Quailwood Drive in Fayetteville, was arrested on charges of first-degree murder, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and conspiracy. The Fayetteville Police Department said in the news release, Thomas had been wanted in the murder of the 27-year-old Blackshear on January 19, 2017 at the Motel 6 on the 2000 block of Cedar Creek Road. The release said a video on Facebook showing a dying Blackshear after being shot was live streamed online for 10 minutes before help arrived. Police say the person who shot the video was not a suspect in the case. With the arrest of Thomas, 4 people are now in custody. Elvin Freeman Morrison, 21, of the 1500 block of Hazley Loop in Hope Mills. Yashika Zakaira West, 18, of the 2900 block of Salvoni Court in Durham, and Adam Bradley Scott Golden, 23, have been charged with first-degree murder, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and conspiracy to commit robbery with a dangerous weapon. Golden is incarcerated at Pasquotank Correctional Institution in Elizabeth City on unrelated charges. On Saturday morning, police said the Crime Stoppers program received information from an anonymous tipster regarding Thomas' whereabouts. That information was forwarded to the department's homicide unit and violent apprehension team and the Horry County Sheriff's Office in South Carolina. Deputies with the Horry County Sheriff's Office looked into the tip and were able to take Thomas into custody. As of Saturday evening, she is being held in the Horry County Detention Center pending extradition to Cumberland County. Sheriff Ryder Michael Futch can be reached at mfutch@fayobserver.com or 486-3529.
Tonight on television, ABC, WTVD, Channel 11, and WPDE, Channel 15, from 8 to 9, Dancing with the Stars, a new champion is crowned. From 9 to 11, American Idol, grand finale, season finale, a new winner is crowned live. CBS, WNCN, Channel 17, and WBTW, Channel 13, from 8 to 8:30, The Big Bang Theory, from 8:30 to 9, Man with a Plan, from 9 to 9:30, another episode of The Big Bang Theory, from 9:30 to 10, Mom, from 10 to 11, Elementary, Joan's former psychologist is murdered. Fox, WRAZ, Channel 50, WGHP, Channel 8, and WSFX, Channel 26, from 8 to 10, the 2018 Miss USA contestants vie for the crown live. From 10 to 11, the news. NBC, WRAL Channel 5, WECT Channel 6, and WNBF Channel 32. From 8 to 10, The Voice Live Finale Part 1. Each of the final 4 artists performs live. From 10 to 11, Running Wild with Bear Grylls, featuring Lena Headey. PBS, WUNC Channel 4, WUNU, and WUNJ. From 8 to 9, Antiques Roadshow. From 9 to 10, Real South. And from 10 to 11:30, Independent Lens. A&E Channel 21. From 8 to 10, Waco, Madman or Messiah. Followers travel to Mount Carmel, Part 1 of 2. And from 10 to midnight, Waco, Madman or Messiah, The Raid of Mount Carmel, Part 2 of 2. ANC Channel 41 from 6:30 until 9. A 3-star crime drama from 2015, Black Mass, starring Johnny Depp and Joel Edgerton. This is the premiere on AMC. Irish gangster Y.J. Bulger helps the FBI in 1970s Boston. From 9 to 10, The Terror, the epic journey reaches its climax. From 10:15 to 11:15, James Cameron's story of science fiction. Discovery Channel, Channel 42. From 7 to 9, Street Outlaws, Full Throttle, Outlaw Armageddon. Outlaw Armageddon, a big race. From 9 to 10, Street Outlaws. The guys talk about how the show began. From 10 to 11, the Street Outlaws. Reaper gets a dirt race challenge. TBN Channel 68 from 8 to 9, Praise the Lord. From 9 to 9:30, Franklin Graham. From 9:30 to 10, Jesse Duplantis. From 10 to 10:30, Graham TV. And from 10:30 to 11, Greg Laurie, TV. TBS Channel 24 from 8 to 10, 4 back-to-back episodes of Family Guy. From 10 to 11, back-to-back episodes of American Dad. Turner Classic Movies, Channel 54. From 8 to 10:30, a 4-star drama from 1940, The Grapes of Wrath, starring Henry Fonda, Jane Darwell, and John Carradine. A Depression-era Oklahoma family migrates to California. And beginning at 10, a 4-star drama from 1942, Casablanca, starring Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, and Paul Henry. The Learning Channel, Channel 23. From 8 to 11, 3 back-to-back episodes of Who Do You Think You Are?
Women will hammers duel for speed. Julie Beck brought a secret weapon to the fastest hammer contest, an electric hammer. The problem was I couldn't find any power, and you know an electric hammer doesn't work too good without power. But minor details, she joked. So Beck, president of the Mount Olive Area Chamber of Commerce, had to settle for a regular hammer, but was still able to out-hammer her opponent, Wayne County Chamber President Kate Daniels. The friendly competition was part of Habitat for Humanity of Goldsboro, Wayne's 11th annual Women Build at 202 West Pollock Street. In truth, Beck's electric hammer was just a regular hammer with a power cord duct taped to the handle. Every day I came down here and practiced swinging the hammer. Nah, Beck said, it's just skill. It's just pure skill. Obviously, you can tell that my parents made me do a lot of hard work, manual labor when I was growing up. I think the main goal was exposure. There are so many people in our community. They are looking for ways to give back. This brought, I hope, a lot of extra exposure. Daniel said she and Beck had done a bit of good-natured trash talking leading up to the competition. We hope we will have more involvement in future bills, not just for the women, but for other bills, Daniel said. We just hope it has increased awareness about Habitat for Humanity, about what the organization is and what it means for homeowners. Daniels made a good point earlier about people being able to help Habitat in many ways other than swinging a hammer. Beck said. If you can't physically come out here and swing a hammer, you can come out and help pass water out to people, she said. There is something that you can do. Also, you can go and donate items to the Habitat Restore. Buy items from the Habitat Restore. So there are a lot of ways that you can be involved with Habitat for Humanity without doing the physical labor if you can't do that part. Habitat for Humanity and Lowe's Home Improvement have a partnership where they promote Women Build Week. Locally, the Women Build Even is also a fundraiser with all the money raised goes back into local home building efforts. It was the first time that Patty O'Donoghue had been a Habitat volunteer, but her son, who lives in Ohio, has been a Habitat volunteer for years. So I am always getting these things. We did this, and we did that, she said. For a long time I have said, I really want to do that. You know, it's one of those things you put on a list but never do. So I decided this was the year. I am so pleased it is near the library because both families have children. To me, having that library within sight is so important. So Donahue joked that she showed up at 8 in the morning, something she seldom does. It is so good to be out here, she said. It is amazing to me that this project appears to me to be based on faith. And we are at a place in our country where we are afraid to talk about faith. It is a marvelous project for people in need. And there are so many people in need, she said. O'Donoghue said the work gave her a glimpse behind the wall to see things she would not know were in a house. Also, people do not normally think of many women being involved in construction, she said. It is important for our daughters, O'Donoghue said. I told both of my daughters I am doing this to say, yes, I can actually put a nail into a piece of wood, and it is going to be a bathroom or a wall or a roof. Yes, we can do this. We can really do this. I am all for anybody to giving it a try. It is not as if you have to be the strongest person in the world. You just come and participate and enjoy the fellowship with these other women. It is great. The build missed its goal of 90 women, but it was still a great turnout, said Matthew Whittle, Goldsboro Wayne Habitat Humanity Executive Director. I'm not sure right now how many we have actually had, but we're over 60, probably close to 70 women, he said. Even though we didn't hit our goals as far as numbers of participants, we still consider it to be a success. The Women Build is an annual event, and Whittle encourages local women to put it on their calendar for 2019. It is held on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before Mother's Day, he said. When the Women Build started this past Thursday, only the flooring had been installed. By Friday, most of the wall framing was up. It continues through Saturday. We have a few more walls to put up today, which is Friday. He said tomorrow we will start what is called sheeting it. We will start putting the outer covering on the house. We have some good folks out, working, enthusiastic folks. We are pleased with how the event has gone. The weather has been good, it's been hot, but it's been good. We have not had any rain during the day. Women Build is always a good time, but much remains to be done, Whittle said. We are asking folks in Mount Olive to come out and join us on May 19th, he said.
And this concludes our reading of the Fayetteville Observer, dated Monday, May 21st, 2018. Radio hosts have been
Beverlyn Simonette.
and Robert Dean. For our radio listeners, we will now join the Raleigh Network for additional programming. Thank you, and our YouTube listeners, for tuning us in. We enjoyed being with you this morning. Have a wonderful day.